South Africa's economy is in dangerous territory. Despite having the most diverse, industrial and technological economy in all of Africa, many of its metrics suggest it is hanging on the edge of becoming a failed state. For example, 60% of South Africans live below the poverty line. A reason for this may be the sky-high unemployment rate, which officially sits around 32%, a huge increase from the low 20s range just a decade ago. This has created a society full of crime, constraining improvements in business and investment. The energy sector is also in a desperate crisis, with Eskom, the main electricity provider, cutting power to all homes for up to 12 hours a day. But by far their most alarming feature is their extreme inequality. Their Gini coefficient, which calculates wealth and income disparity, is 63, by far the highest in the entire world, surpassing the most corrupt nations globally. This inequality did not arrive overnight. It is a product of South Africa's long history with colonialism, apartheid and authoritarian government. For centuries, native South Africans were dispossessed of their land and resources by incoming European settlers. In 1948, apartheid came. This was a system designed to maintain power and wealth within the white minority. Black South Africans were systematically denied access to quality education, employment opportunities, and basic property rights. While apartheid officially ended in 1994, thanks to the likes of Nelson Mandela, the legacy of these discriminatory policies persist. Despite the implementation of liberal policies, disparities continue to create an uneven playing field. It has proven an impossible task to overcome multiple generations of extreme inequality in the space of a single generation. Another problem holding this fight back is the general lack of economic growth. This is the GDP growth chart since the turn of the century. When the economy is barely expanding, it becomes difficult to provide opportunities for the most disadvantaged. The rising unemployment and poverty rates suggest that conditions have not just stagnated, but considerably worsened in recent years. There are many reasons for this. One major hurdle is the ongoing energy crisis. Crippling power cuts, known as load shedding, are a daily reality for South Africans. These blackouts severely disrupt businesses, stifle productivity, and discourage investment, preventing consistent growth. The root cause lies in the mismanagement and underfunding of Eskom, the state-owned electricity provider. Last year, Eskom cut power to households and companies for a record 280 days, up from 65 days the year before. How can a country possibly function when for up to 12 hours a day, households and businesses are left without any power? Crumbling infrastructure acts as yet another brake on the economy. Roads, ports, and other essential networks haven't received adequate maintenance and investment for years. This makes the movement of goods more difficult and costlier, hurting businesses and ultimately ordinary consumers. Corruption has also played a role in this mess. Public funds meant for development and essential services have been siphoned off by certain officials and networks. This has starved the economy of vital resources, leading to an erosion in government trust. The political situation is currently very tense. With an election due this year, extreme populist parties have become increasingly popular. They champion the death penalty and the mass deportation of immigrants, of whom they blame for the uncontrollable crime and youth unemployment figures. Unemployment of those between 15 and 24 currently sits at 60%, which is incredibly high. This has been steadily rising over the last decade and doesn't seem to be on its way down anytime soon. It's clear that there is a huge lack of economic opportunity for those at the bottom of the ladder. This is perhaps the biggest obstacle stopping all progress, as it creates a vicious cycle leading to crime, which damages the country even further. Since the first non-restricted racial elections in 1994, crime had steadily decreased. A new democratic system, along with the extremely successful hosting of the World Cup in 2010, had improved South Africa's reputation as a safer country. However, in the last few years, the trend has picked back up. Between 2020 and 21, there was a 23% increase in crime, its largest ever uptick. It is now one of the most dangerous countries in the entire world, sitting amongst the likes of Honduras, Haiti, and Afghanistan. When looking ahead, South Africa's trajectory remains uncertain. The nation has always had that potential. It boasts a young population, rich natural resources, and a historical resilience. But to overcome its deep challenges of inequality, corruption, crime, and structural shortcomings, the country needs much stronger leadership. Prioritizing opportunities for the youth is the most promising direction, but it is easier said than done. Will their past continue to haunt them as they look for answers? If so, they could become the next high-profile failed state. Only time will tell how they'll emerge. Thank you for watching.